My video for August 27th, 2019 is video number 3190. The title is True or False? The Carnival is Over. A friend sent me a YouTube video, The Seekers 2019 News and Interviews. The closing song when Judith Durham left The Seekers after the first 4 amazing years was The Carnival is Over. Well, for me, Judith Durham was The Seekers' main attraction. They are going on tour again in October and November this year in Australia. However, it is 4 guys. No Judith, no female vocalist at all. Yes, I did get to meet Judith's sister, Beverly, on my visit in May a few years ago. For me, if the RV ever became a reality and I could travel, Oz would be one of my early destinations. To be able to meet these amazing people who have been so inspirational for me would mean the carnival is not over, unless you mean the fakery and deception that has plagued humanity for eons. I would like Carnival to represent a celebration of awakening and empowerment. Will I get to actually experience that in my life? If the answer is yes, it would mean that mankind is finally reaching the place where we can see the difference between true and false. To date, we have not collectively experienced much of the former, living as we do on a planet of deception. Oh, wow. I had the friend, as I said, send me a video, and it's better part of an hour, not quite an hour, but the better part of an hour long, and it had a lot of the old hits and stuff. When the Seekers first came out, of course, with the hit Georgie Girl, that ended up getting national acclaim in England and the United States, and ultimately around the world, of course. That was something that was unexpected, and then when one of their songs knocked the Beatles and the Rolling Stones out of what have held number 1 or 2 spot for a period of time prior to that, the Seekers became the number 1 hit. I mean, I didn't even know about it when all that was happening. That was not even my genre of music. If I heard the Seekers, they did not stand out for me at that point in my life. I discovered them much later. And when I had the opportunity, the invitation to go to Australia, meeting the Seekers was one of the main things on my agenda, which I did not get to do, although, as I've said in other videos, I did get to meet Beverly Sheehan, who is Judith's sister. And she was actually in the hospital when I first went there, but she got home and got back to the church, the Unity Church that I attended there, and with Pastor Livingston. And Livingston, or Livingstone, was a major role in my life here in the United States and there in Australia. And I'm not going to go into all the details about that at this time, but in any case, I did not get to meet anyone except Beverly, and she came home from, she was in the hospital, I guess, and Judith too has had a lot of, challenges over the years in accidents and health issues and things like that, but they're still alive. They're still alive. And I mean, I know, I said this in the previous video too, I fell in love with Judith. But of course, so did thousands of other guys fall in love with her. There was just something about her that was an innocent charm. And as she said in the video that I just watched, when she first started out, she was making her own clothes. And she had seen doctors to get breast reduction, and she always felt she was fat, which she wasn't, but she felt she was. And she wanted to get to see if they could remove some of the fat from her body. crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But she was only a teenager. When she started out with the Seekers, she was 19 years old. And they fell in love with her right from the beginning. She always wanted to be a singer, but the Seekers was not even her style of music. She liked more classical type of music. And so, lots of things have come out. I mean, I've watched lots of stories in the past week even about the Seekers and especially about Judith. And they're amazing people. The guys too. I'd like to meet them. They're still vibrant, and as I said, they're still going on tour. But now they've got a guy taking Judith's place. They had 3 women, and they were all good, as I've said in the previous video that I made about this subject. They were all good singers, but they weren't Judith. Judith just, there's something about her. And, you know, I would go to hear the guys sing, and I would like to meet them all. I would like, not the new guy, I don't have any connection with him at all because I don't know who the heck he is. I mean, he's been connected with the group for a long time, but not as somebody on stage with them, not one of the performers. And they have an interesting history. I mean, they all had other groups that they had been part of, and the amalgamation of the 4 people that made up the original historical legends, if you will, of superstar musicians and singers. They were beyond anything that, I mean, beyond the Beatles, beyond the Rolling Stones. They were wholesome. They were down to earth, especially Judith. As she said, she made all of her own clothes at the time. She made her own dresses. You know, she didn't even buy, you know, things. I mean, she was so down to earth and so humble. But one of the things that came out, she said when she was just much younger that she was going to become famous. She told her family when she's just a much younger teenager, she's going to become famous, and she did. But it was a strange roundabout journey for her, and this is all a roundabout journey for us. Now, I said in my blurb that if we ever get to the place where the RV becomes a reality, and I am blessed with the ability to travel again, which of course I don't have now, I just lost so much. Anyway, if the RV became a reality, that would be one of the first destinations that I would make. Of course, I would have to follow up on some of the things that I want to, the programs and stuff that I'd like to help fund if the RV became available and I all of a sudden was blessed with resources. But for pure sentimental things, I want to go to Australia again. I really, really feel a connection. Whether I've ever been there in a past life or not, I have no idea. But I feel a connection with Australia, and I was part, as I said in other videos, also a part of the Australian delegation to Swiss Indo. So there's lots of connections that I'd like to explore, lots of things I'd like to explore in life. I'm not ready to throw in the towel and give up, and I'm glad to see that the Seekers, for them, the carnival isn't over. Will they ever perform as the ones that became famous again? Who knows? If the technology becomes available to reverse our aging, what's going to happen? What choices are we going to make at that point in time? I don't know. But as I said, I feel a connection to Australia, but I feel a connection to the whole world because I was put here to help usher in the kingdom of heaven on earth. Thank you for listening, and namaste.